Hello, Level Creek community. It's Mr. Skelton with some updates as we start off our week. Starting off, we're going to jump right into some COVID information. We are rounding out. We've finished our first month back and have had a total of 19 confirmed cases, 3 of which were staff members. And we've had a total of 54 close contacts, folks who were around, again, with 2 of those 54 being staff members. Much like last year, most of what we see is community spread, where families are catching it. Students catch it either with symptoms or asymptomatically from their families or from sports, slumber parties, whatever it might be out there in the community, and are bringing it in school. We're seeing very little spread student to student at school, which is cause for some small celebration, but celebration nonetheless. We want to keep that going. Secondly, we are still sending out letters. We're sending out 3 different kinds of letters. First, close contact, and you need to quarantine letters. That's the first type. Second is close contact students, but you do not need to quarantine letters. And third is no close contact and no quarantine. And that last is just for other students in the classroom that weren't around, but we do want parents within the classroom to know if someone in the classroom tested positive for COVID. Again, we're not seeing a lot of student-to-student spread. There are some differences between last year and this year as far as the pandemic goes. The vast majority of our students are back in school. We're under 10 students digital, and we're at over 1,000, so just not shy of 1,050. We do not have concurrent teaching this year, and concurrent teaching is simply where teachers teach in-person students at the same time as they're broadcasting and teaching digital students, which allows them to focus more on the students in front of them and is much more manageable for our teachers. They bit off a huge chunk last year and did a great job with it. One of the downsides to that is that if a student does quarantine or if they're out ill, they're not able to broadcast in and be a part of class like they were last year. So for our students who are quarantining, we do have some work available. We are aware that there are 2 different kinds of students. If you're quarantining, you may be asymptomatic and feel fine and want to get as much work as you can so you don't feel behind. We also have students who aren't feeling well, and we certainly don't want to push them. So we're trying to find the right balance between the workload currently. I do want to say, on that note, thank you to parents for your caution. I've seen so many emails to teachers saying, my child just wasn't feeling well. I think everything's fine, but I'm just going to keep them home for a day and check. That's certainly an okay thing to do as a parent. I've been doing that same type of thing when I need to with my 3. One thing for this year, this is not as common a question, but I did want to go over it. Times when students are without their masks, so there are 4 times throughout the school day, when they're eating snack, when they're in PE and doing aerobic activity where their heart rate is up, when they're at recess, of course, and then last but not least, in the lunchroom. We are still at full capacity in the lunchroom, and we've not seen student-to-student spread even through that. We do have plans drawn up to go to half capacity, but we're not going there until we need to. So we're following that obviously very closely. And we are following the spread, if there is any, trying to figure out in grade levels, in classrooms, to see if there are any connections that we can draw out of school as well, students who hang out outside of school. Some other topics for lunch, starting tomorrow, starting Tuesday, parents will return to be able to have lunch with students. A little bit of a change this year. We're not adding more bodies into the cafeteria. Parents are going to take their children into the project lab, which is a room just shortly away, right across from the 3rd grade restrooms. And we'll be able to eat with their child in there. We're going to ask parents, we have cleaning supplies to wipe off after you've eaten, and then a parent will bring their child back into the lunchroom as their class is exiting. So we're looking forward to that. We're excited to be able to have parents come back, and obviously that's something we're going to monitor very closely as well. Goes without saying, but please parents, if you're not feeling well or if you've been around anyone who may be COVID positive, please, you can always come later. Wait a couple of weeks. We also have parent volunteers who have been coming back in to help with Friday folders, help with gardening, any and all types of things, both with PTA and in the classroom. So welcome back. We're excited to see you. Thank you so much for coming back in. I know that was a big loss to our school, to our teachers, to our community, most importantly to our students last year. That partnership with our parents is tremendously important. And as we wrap it up, so we finished our first month of school. We're looking forward to a very fruitful rest of the year. Certainly there will be a lot more communication back and forth. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please do send me an email. Feel free to give me a call as well. I prefer talking on the phone to email, but I know that it's sometimes convenient to get little bits back and forth. Or, feel free to come on in. My door's open. And if you need a conference with your child's teacher, you can certainly do that as well. We will have conferences coming up, academic conferences in October. So those are just over the horizon. And until then, we look forward to seeing you around. If you have questions, please do ask. We appreciate you. We thank you for all your patience and your good nature this year and rolling with some of the punches we've all been dealt. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.